Hey guys, I'm back with another video and I have another haul from BBW. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to go back in so soon, but Sunkist Coconut was the one that I really wanted to try, and it was like really eating at me, and I was like, you know what? Hope for a candle sale this weekend, and I was also hoping that I would be one of the lucky select stores that did the 10 off instead of the $15.95 price point, and it totally was. So the most local store for me was doing the 10 off promo for the candles, so that's what, $14.50 rather than $15.95, because I'm not about that $15.95 life. And so I was like, oh my god, and then it so happened that it was my last survey coupon. Oh my gosh, it's like the end of an era for me. No more survey coupons in my stash. That was the very last one that I had. I thought I had ran out of survey coupons a little while back, but then when I did the move and I was cleaning, I found a whole, like, a stack of survey coupons still, and I was like, oh my gosh, I still have some. So that's what carried me through until right now, and then I finally used my last one. In true survey coupon fashion, of course, I did run into a little bit of trouble at the register. It wasn't too much trouble, but she was all like, oh, I've never seen this. I don't know what it is, and of course, if they don't know what it is, that means it must not be valid. And then she asked the other lady, and she's like, oh, I've never seen those. I have no idea what that is. So then thankfully there was like an OG manager that was in the back that she went to go talk to, and she immediately knew what it was and rang it up and honored it. So there was that. But it wouldn't be a survey coupon without the hassle at the register. So at least I guess the plus side is that I won't ever have to go through that hassle again. But the big downside is that BBW doesn't do coupons anymore, so I have no 10 off 30s anymore, and I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? No more email coupons, I don't get mailer coupons either, and there's just simply no more coupons, and that's like finally hitting me as a realization. I'm sure it's already hit a lot of you guys already, but for me, I have my 10 off 30 stash, but now it's just like, there's really no coupons anymore. Like, what am I gonna do? It just doesn't feel right to spend like $16 on a BBW candle flat out without any other additional promotional savings on it. But as you know, there was that whole like quote that's been going on the internet about the CEO or whatever he is, some executive at BBW, saying how they want to like slowly raise people into buying full price and then not doing buying by sales or promotions, which who's gonna go by that? But we'll see, because I'm sure there's still people buying at the $15.95 price point. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to my guns and just do the 10 off thing, and so that's what I did. So a lot of rambling, but any case, yeah, so oh my god, no coupons. I'm like, what do I do now? But yeah, I don't get mailer coupons either, so it is what it is. So yeah, Sunkist Coconut. So this one was suspect because the notes on this read, sweet coconut, fresh ylang-ylang, and plumeria petals. No one's been talking about this. There's been no hype about it. There's no like, oh my god, I love coconut, so I was hoarding, 10 Sunkist coconuts, nothing like that. And I was like, but there's also plumeria and ylang-ylang in it. So that means it must be really floral, because BBW's demographic and the people who hype stuff up don't necessarily love floral stuff. And so I was like, this is probably actually going to be a good one, because no one's talking about it, no one's hyping it up. But the coconut people aren't like saying, oh my god, it's the greatest coconut fragrance ever. And there's just been no buzz on it. And when there's no buzz on it, that means it's probably not going to be bakery or some, usual fruity scent. It's probably going to be something that's floral, which BBW's demographic in general just doesn't like floral fragrances, and that's why they don't release floral that much anymore. I love floral fragrances, so I was like, something seems a little suspicious here. And the fact that it says ylang-ylang and plumeria petals, which are both really heavy-hitting, like white, heady florals that I love. And so even though the 2 out of 3 notes are the white florals on it, they still decided to name it Sunkist Coconut and make the leading note sweet coconut. I was like, they're probably doing that to try to actually paint this fragrance into something that it's not. So it's probably not really much of a coconut fragrance, but more floral, because they're trying to make this floral fragrance appeal to those who don't like floral. And that's exactly what it was. I was like, oh my god, let me go into the store and smell it. Oh my god, it's gorgeous and beautiful. I freaking love it. I was like, oh my gosh, so let me try it. So yeah, Sunkist Coconut right there. That's what that was. Bright yellow packaging and the lid on there. Sweet coconut, fresh ylang-ylang, and plumeria petals. Yeah, this is floral and I friggin' love it. And I was like, oh my god, that's totally what it is. That's why no one's been talking about it. There's been no hype on it. The reason they call it Sunkist Coconut was try to make this something that to make it more appealing or marketable to the BBW demographic that doesn't love floral. And so, yeah. Gorgeous. It's like your suntan type of fragrance. Suntan is called suntan, so people think it is sunscreen and don't necessarily associate sunscreen as being a floral, even though that's exactly what a sunscreen or suntan lotion fragrance smells like. There's usually like orange flower or like neroli in there, orange blossom. That type of white floral is usually in the sunscreen fragrance, but by naming it suntan, you just immediately associate it to a sunscreen smell, and then so you have like positive associations to that, whereas if it was named something floral, it'd be be like, oh, it's a white heady floral, I don't like it. So that's why Suntan can like kind of get away with it, even though it's an online exclusive this year. But this is actually quite similar to Suntan. So if you like Suntan but was missing out on it, this is like a next best thing. It doesn't smell exactly like Suntan and is missing that sort of like gluey, lotiony component that Suntan has. So here's Suntan, many variations of it has come out. It literally smells like sunscreen or like lotion, sunscreen, suntan lotion. And you get that kind of gluey, lotiony fragrance in here, which I actually really enjoy. It's really authentic to what a sunscreen smells like. So I freaking love Suntan to pieces. It's one of my favorite fragrances, and also because it is floral. This one's orange flower, yuzu, and coconut husk. And then, so this one is quite similar to that same like orange blossom type of, you know, plumeria, ylang-ylang type of white heady tropical floral is what you get in here, similar to sunscreen or suntan. And then there is a little bit of a coconut beachy vibe in there that just makes it a little bit more summery and, I don't know, coconutty or tropical, and I actually really enjoy that. It's like a slightly more floral and less gluey Suntan, but still like quite similar fragrances nonetheless. There was also the other variation of Suntan in this packaging right here, and this was Sun-Drenched Flowers, Neroli Blossom, and Driftwood. This was not the other Suntan. This is a lot more mature and even more heavy floral. This is more like mature women's fragrance type is what I get from it. But still a similar like beachy, tropical white floral concept to it. But it's not this one. It's not as like sunscreen, suntan lotion as that one is. It's a little bit more powdery and more floral. But, you know, in the similar tropical, heady, white floral family. And this one is similar to that. This also kind of sort of reminds me of At the Beach too, and the way that you get that sort of coconut in there. And also kind of reminds me of, no one's gonna remember this. I don't like, it's just sort of silly because like at this point I feel like there's more new people or like newer fans to Bath and Body Works than there are older ones. I could be wrong, but I just feel like the general like population is like doesn't know all these old fragrances that I'm talking about. I'm like, is it even useful or relevant to talk about these anymore? But it's kind of similar to Island Tiare flower as well, where you get that sort of like coconut sandy beachy vibe to it mixed with the white florals. And I love that. This is like one of my favorite type of fragrance families, and I'm glad they finally like released something like this. And the fact that no one was talking about it, I was like, it's probably got to be good. So that was Sun-Kissed Coconut right here. Quite excited to burn it if you couldn't tell. It has the like thinner core wicks that look like that, which is not going to focus, but there was that. So that was Sun-Kissed Coconut right there. If you like any of those white tropical floral fragrances that I was talking about, then check that out. The next thing we have, oh my gosh, I was like, it's my last survey coupon, let me go out with a bang. I was like, I haven't smelled the tropical body care yet, so let me take a look. And I'm like, oh, why did I buy 3 shower gels? I did buy 2 get 1, because one candle's at $14.50, so I had to get to $30. So I was like, okay, you know what, let me just add this on here and call it a day. And that is what we did. So I hadn't smelled these yet, and I was actually quite pleasantly surprised. So the first one we have is Key West Coconut Water and Melon, and that's what that looks like. And that's what the back looks like as well. This is coconut water, salt water waves, and fresh melon. And I was like, what is this gonna smell like? There was that Beachwater Coconut that came out in the same collection as Boardwalk Marshmallow Clouds. That was more so just like a plain coconut fragrance that was a little bit more fresh and a little less like sandy and warm as some of their other coconut fragrances are. And I just didn't really care for it, but it was like a neither here nor there kind of thing. But then I was like, you know what, let me try this Key West Coconut Water and Melon, and I was actually pleasantly surprised when I sprayed it in store. Yeah, this just totally reminds me of like old school Slacken tropical fragrances. It reminds me a lot of Seaside Escape. So once again, if anybody remembers Seaside Escape from Slacken & Co. days, it's kind of similar to that type of like tropical fruit blend. Has a very nostalgic, like old school BBW, like simple, tropical, fruity vibe to it that I really enjoy. The melon is really prominent in there, and it's really sweet and juicy, and I really enjoy that because I normally enjoy melon fragrances. It's kind of similar to the melon and cucumber melon, but less cucumbery, a little bit more of a sweetness in there. And then you do get a coconut, but it's not that cloying, heavy, like crayony, waxy, like dirty coconut that we get in a lot of fragrances. It's a little more fresh and crisp, and it's quite nice. There's a like breeziness to it too that comes from the saltwater wave, so to speak, that it makes the melon a little bit more, I don't know, just like ozony and just pleasant and like subtle and pleasant in a nice way. But there's still enough sweetness in there from the melon, and it just gave me like really old school like Slackton like seaside escape vibes to it, and I really enjoyed it. So that was that right there. Literally just got back from the store, so I haven't used it in the shower yet, but I did use it on my hands. I did really enjoy it there. We then have Belize Tropical Cabana. Super fun, bright yellow packaging on it. These look kind of cheap or bland online, but in like person, there's like a metallic sheen to it that makes it look a little bit nicer. But yeah, so that was that. This is banana daiquiri, juicy pineapple, and golden sands. I was like, you know what? I just want something new. So I was like, let me see how this goes. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with this one too. I don't think we have very many straight up banana fragrances in body care, and this is totally a banana fragrance. You really do get that banana daiquiri note in there. It's kind of like a banana smoothie, like a creamy banana. It's not overly artificial, so I kind of appreciate that. It says pineapple in there. There is a like tropical sweet fruitness in there, but I think the banana is more first and foremost. And then lastly, I get a slight, when I was using this on my hands, there is a slight floral like dry down or floral ending to it that is probably attributed to the golden sands. They probably keep it vague because if they put floral in a banana fragrance, then people are going to be like, oh my god, why is there floral in my banana? But the golden sands in there is probably a vague way to say that there's some kind of floral or woodsy undertone in there that gives it that sort of longevity that you get on dry down, and that is what I get. But I kind of like that because it elevates the just plain old like banana into something that's a little bit more robust and body care like, and so I really enjoyed that too. So this was, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, this is actually a new banana fragrance in body care. I don't think we really have banana fragrances very often, so pleasantly surprised about that. So that was the Belize Tropical Cabana right there. The other ones are Repackaged City, right? Waikiki Beach Coconut, Passion Fruit Banana Flower. I'm sure I'm missing one. Oh, there's a Fiji Sunshine Guavatini thing. That was just a usual fruity, cutesy guava fragrance that I didn't care about. And I believe Oahu Coconut Sunset is an online exclusive, and that rounds out that collection. There was also that new aromatherapy, like waves stuff. There was the bergamot cedarwood and the eucalyptus sandalwood, just totally boring. I just didn't care for it. It was not my like preference. The one that did intrigue me was the mimosa spearmint one. That one does smell similar to, if you remember the C.O. Bigelow, was it like sea salt mimosa was what it was called? There was that blue sea salt mimosa or mimosa something fragrance from C.O. Bigelow in those big square bottles. Like they were really chunky, but they had that whole C.O. Bigelow collection, which a lot of them were repackages and a lot of them are not. And some of them have like trickled their way through into other names. But there was a sea salt mimosa one that I really enjoyed, and that was the one that I bought. The mimosa spearmint in the new aromatherapy is actually quite similar to it. So if you enjoy that C.O. Bigelow mimosa one, then I think you'll enjoy this one too. I thought at first it was a direct repackage, but when I sprayed it and I smelled it, it did smell slightly different. I think I prefer the C.O. Bigelow one, but it has that similar like nuzzly, like refreshing but slightly floral quality to it that I really enjoyed. And so once again, if you enjoy that C.O. Bigelow one, I think you might enjoy the mimosa spearmint one in the new aromatherapy line. Those aren't on sale or anything, so I was like, I'm not gonna pick them up. So that was that. And then I was doing buy two get one, and I was like, I really don't know what else to get, and I was desperate, and this candle has been kind of growing on me, and it was the lone only shower gel left in there of this fragrance, and I was like, oh my god, this must be really popular. So let me check it out. And I succumbed to Hibiscus Paradise right there. It's pink hibiscus, juicy guava, and sun-kissed coconut. We are going to embark on a journey to the tropics where the warmth of the sun and the brightness of exotic florals evoke tranquil days in paradise. I'm all about that. Yeah, this is kind of grown on me. The more I burn it or use it, the more I get a slight like in the sun type of that like neroli sunscreen, but like a sun-kissed sunscreen, like you're laying out on the beach and like the sun rays are really hot on you, and then you get sort of the gritty, dirty like bronzeness of like the sands when you're laying out, and then the sunscreen sort of mingles with the like vibe outside. You get traces of that in here. It's not as like floral or like juicy as you would imagine like Aloha Waikiki someone was bringing up, which I love that one. It's not as like juicy as like Aloha Waikiki, which was like hulas and hibiscuses at one time, and then there was also Hawaiian hibiscus and that like neon pink wax. It's not really like floral or juicy like that. It's a different vibe. It's more like that in the sun kind of slightly like sun-kissed, a slight orange flower neroli vibe in there, but mostly that warm, like cozy coconut, so to speak, is what I get in here mixed with some woods. I don't really get a whole lot of guava in there, but if you want a very beachy, like warm, like sun-kissed coconut fragrance, this is it. I'm kind of warming up to it. I'm like, you know what? I'd really love to be like on a beach or like at a water park, like pre-COVID era. And I've been really missing that. So I was like, this sort of kind of takes me there. So, you know what? Maybe I can experience it in the shower for that moment. So that's why I got Hibiscus Paradise right here. I haven't used it in the shower gel, but the candle and the pocket bag pretty much smell the same as this. Once again, that like warm, sun-kissed coconut is the best way I can say it, with slight traces of that sort of sunscreen in the sun and the rolly orange flower, and a slight woodsiness in there. It's just not as floral or feminine or just like sweet or cutesy as I thought it would be, but I mean, I guess not every fragrance needs to be like that, so it is what it is. So Hibiscus Paradise right there, and that rounds it out, and I'm like, ooh, I like totally want to go to the tropics right now, like lie on a beach. So yeah, that was that, and I think that is it. Thanks so much for watching. If you watched this far, if anyone has smelled or burned sun-kissed coconut, let me know. This one's the one I was like really jazzed about, and I was like, there's no hype on it, so like I just have to figure it out and see what's cooking with that one. So there was that. I have burned the other candles and pleasantly surprised with them. I might do reviews on them, so I'm not going to say too much, but yeah. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.